Hey there, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another early morning, just woke up edition of FM Projects. And as you can see, we're home again here in Yanji, and we have a lot of snow there on the pitch for this match against Yantai Yintai. Yantai, just in case you don't know, you probably don't, Yantai is a relatively large city on the northern part of Shandong province. I know it pretty well. I lived in Shenyang for a while, and Yantai was just sort of across the bay. It would have taken a couple hours to go by boat, but wasn't too far away. Anyway, Yantai here in our save is so bad that I'm going to guarantee a victory today. I mean, they haven't won a single match at all this season. I don't know if you can even see the ball. It's a little yellow thing that's kicking around. We have Wu Ping back in goal. That's our clinically depressed 15-year-old goaltender. The reason why is because of just how weak Yantai is. So we're putting in all of the reserves and everybody else, and we'll see how this goes. And that's Kim Kuk-jin there on the attempt. Others have thanked me in comments in the past for pronouncing people's names correctly, but I realize now that actually it should be Kim Kuk-jin instead of Kim Kung-jin. As you might guess, Korean is not exactly the first of my the foreign languages that I speak, so I'll make mistakes from time to time. Just try to cover that up so that you don't realize it. I'm surprised we haven't scored yet, but so it is, and now it's time to focus on the match, and let's get some goals across so that I don't get really upset and have to start yelling at players. Brano with the ball here from the back over to Jonovic. Jonovic moves forward, and he's got Guoyi, and Guoyi moves forward looking for Kim Kuk-jin and unable to find him. And this ball is back on our side again, back to Brano, over to Wade, over to Mr. Kwon, and it works its way up to Kim Kuk-jin, who misses. The first shot is saved, and he's there for the rebound and makes the second one, and he is clearly onside. And boy, man, the contrast here, I'm talking about the visual contrast, is a little bit hard to see, isn't it? Rovaglia with the excellent pass over to Kim Kuk-jin, takes the first shot. The goaltender misses that, and it hits the woodwork, and Kim Kuk-jin just sort of walks up and makes the second shot, and it's 1-0 Yanbian FC. And Yentai's defense looks, like, I'm not sure what it is they're trying to do. I don't even know if they know what game they're playing here. I mean, this looks really, really poor from them. Should only be a matter of time here before we win the ball back. And there's Yeje with it, over to Wade and up to Jonovic. Back to Yeje now. Over to Wade again, over to Kwon Hyuk-kyu. Back to Yeje, over to Wade, Mr. Kwon again. And he is looking for Tang Xingcheng, and they have, I'm going to say, our North Korean friend was standing right there in the area, but instead it goes back to Mr. Kwon, who has a shot at it from range, and he should have done a lot better than that. Kind of surprised that he wasn't able to score that one. I mean, it's totally point-blank range, and he just sort of lobbed it over the top of everybody. I mean, you look at that, and you think, there's no way you can miss. He didn't have anyone on him either. I don't think that he realized that he didn't have any other defenders on him. Goi with the set piece, and nothing comes of it. And so Goi now will take the corner here. He goes back and forth, and nothing happening there. Jonovic unable to get around to that one, and here comes Brano now with a free kick over to Mr. Kwon to Juninho. Juninho up and forward over to Rovaglia, who's fouled, and that's going to be another yellow card, I think, for Juan Weiping. Now, he ends up not getting into that double jeopardy. It's nothing but a penalty, and it's Kwon Hyuk-kyu, Mr. Kwon, to take it and score. So there is some question as to whether we want to hold on to Mr. Kwon or not. He does have that awful inconsistency mark of death on his player profile, and he has had some consistency problems, but at the same time, he's actually played extraordinarily well for us so far. He's also really upset because I'm not starting him more than I'm starting him currently. I don't really understand that because he's starting more games than anybody else on the squad. I don't get it. Whatever. That's football manager logic for you. And really what it is it's a professionalism problem. Here's Rovaglia winning the ball back over to Jonovic. Back to Rovaglia. And Rovaglia has it, brings it up forward over to Wade. Wade makes a nice move and misses the shot, unfortunately. That was a pretty nice fake out move that he had. He kind of deked his defender and had a wide open shot, but unfortunately wasn't able to pull it down. Juninho now pulls it up for us. Juninho over and forward to Rovaglia, who gets ahead on it, but it pops up and goes too high and wide. And we're going to have yet another highlight, and this is why matches here on this channel tend to last a little longer, because we're really good. Tang Xingcheng over to Rovaglia, and Rovaglia is fouled in the penalty box. No call. Surprised that wasn't called. I mean, he was fouled by two guys at once, kind of sandwiched there, but so it is. Light snow, minus 5 degrees Celsius, and we still have about 20,000 people in the stands to watch our undefeated team take on a team that hasn't even been close to winning a game this year. And there's Rovaglia in behind the defense, and he is onside, and that is goal number 3 of the game for us. And this is the sort of match that's going to be, isn't it? Very, very well done, though. Very, very well brought forward. So I was about to say, as we watch this replay, in Football Manager, when you have things that don't make sense, for example, if you have, a player who wants to start more games and he's already starting the most games out of anyone in your squad, usually that's a sign of low professionalism. That's really what you're dealing with. And in most cases, I would say it's probably time to get rid of the guy. And that's unfortunate for Mr. Kwon, who I like a lot, but I do think that we have some professionalism issues here. And the other problem is we have players already at the club who are better than him at his position who are younger, and he's only 21. Anyway, that corner for us goes nowhere. But I guess sort of what I'm saying here is do not be surprised if in real time, like a week or two, our squad looks a lot different because some of these players with low professionalism are going to end up leaving. And we have been dominating this match, in fact, more so than even the score would indicate, and we just can't seem to get a couple of those into the goal, but it's all right. Goi now with the set piece and has a shot and forces the save, and that was a fairly good save by the Yantai goalie, and here's Goi again, this time with a corner. Looking deep corner for Rovaglia, who's unable to get around onto it. And we're kind of slipping and sliding around there in the snow. That didn't look like a very professionally taken corner, I'll tell you that. Goi now, and kicks it up and forward, and there's another penalty. Hao Sheng handled the ball, I see. So Kwon Hyokyu is going to take this once again. And he scores a second penalty. That's 2 for Kwon Hyokyu, and there's always a chance that he'll get a penalty hat trick today. Wouldn't that be something? And, the goalkeeper has no chance of that. I mean, there's no way. There's no way. It's not even funny. Looking at all this snow reminds me of my own time in northeast China, and especially in Shenyang, where it would snow around this time of year. So we're in November in game. And the snow and ice would sort of sit there and stay, until March. So that's kind of what it's like up there if you haven't been before. And if you haven't been up there before, you might want to wait until, of course, pandemic conditions calm down. But I would recommend going. It's a pretty good part of the world to visit. Not a bad place at all. Goi is tired, and of course we have nobody to replace him. I think that we're only starting him because our other attacking left midfielders are tired, or are injured rather. So he's going to have to stay out there, unfortunately for him. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, though, as we have a 4-0 lead here going into the second half. Juninho takes it up, and he's dispossessed of the ball, but it doesn't really matter in the end. Mr. Kwon, of all people, has gone way back to fetch that one. Yeje over to Jonovic, working around here on the left side. Jonovic moves up, has got Kim Kuk-jin over to Goi, and Goi's got Tan Xingcheng all the way. And that was kind of a poor shot by Tan Xingcheng, who did so well to get himself open. It was a little bit disappointing because just looking at this going forward, as you can see, you think, this has to be a goal. Where are the defenders? They're nowhere to be found. Xuan's fortunate to get on the back of that one, but if Tang Xingcheng hits that with any sort of authority or any sort of power, then that's going to be a goal. Breno over to Jonovic. Jonovic back to Yeje. Yeje back to Wade over to Jonovic. And Jonovic is going to sort of lump one up here eventually. It's Wade who lumps it up to Goi, to Rovaglia, who's wide open. And no, that is a save. I thought for a second that might have been offside, but no, the flag stayed down. He was just absolutely wide open, and he didn't need to go as quickly as he did. Goi with the corner, and we're still unable to get around to it. I'm not quite sure what that was there by our defender, who sort of holds his hands up like that. I guess. It looks like he's playing basketball, right? You get your hands up and you try to, get through the passing lanes, except when you're playing football, that doesn't really work, does it? Unless you want them to call handball. We have an XG of almost 5 so far in this game. Yantai hasn't managed a single shot, and yet we are only have the 4-0 lead, and this is where I kind of worry about complacency. We should be winning by 10, 12, 15 goals, in my opinion, because of how weak our opposition is. And Huang Weiping is going to get his second yellow card there for poor Yantai. Here comes Mr. Kwon with his penalty hat trick. And no, it was right out of the area. My apologies. So Goi ends up with the free kick from right outside of the area, and I thought for certain there was going to be a penalty. And actually, it looks like it wasn't a second yellow card either. Interesting. So we'll just keep on going here. Janinho with the throw into Tang Xingcheng, back to Janinho. Over to Wade. Wade now has got all sorts of options. Goes back to Jonovic, of all people. Jonovic goes back to Yejia and up to Jonovic. They're waiting to see if we can get a little break here to thread the needle. Look at how high that defensive line is for Yantai, which has got to be part of their problem. Goi easily gets through that, but he's tired, and that's the reason why he fans on that one. I mean, just look at how high up that defensive line is playing. I guess they're looking for offsides or whatever, but I mean, you make it so easy for us. And Goi, all he has to do is take like 2 steps. He can fake out the goalkeeper and put it right past him instead of trying to kill one. And that was a red card. Okay. I can see now on the left side of the screen that was a red card. A little confusing here. Rovaglia now brings it up, has a shot instead of passing, and he would have been better for him, I think, to pass. I think that he had Kim Kook-jin there in the area looking, but it's all right. I mean, he's a striker. We pay him to shoot. And no problem so far with fitness other than Goi, and we have no one to come on for him. And his free kick again goes wide, and we just keep on going. XG now of about 6 for us in this game as we've completely dominated, which is no surprise. Ravaglia back to Jonovic. Jonovic over to Wade. Wade back to Jonovic. Jonovic goes back down to Wade, and Wade kind of loops it forward, and that was sort of a shot. I think that may have hit off of the back foot of a defender, actually. Xu Enzi is there to pick it up, and he kicks the ball to Wu Ping. That's an interesting strategy. Wu Ping probably happy to get this start. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with him. With Wu Ping, if we can get his professionalism level up, I might hold on to him. But Ravaglia with the shot into the side netting, nothing happening. But as it stands right now, Wu Ping is kind of on that, play occasionally in the first team until our huge number of goaltenders come in, and then he'll play probably for the under-19s until he's old enough to be loaned out, and then we'll just loan him out until we can sell him, get some money for him. And it's an unfortunate reality, but when you come in with no self-belief, that's kind of what happens. Goi now with the corner. And that we do get a head on it. I didn't see who got the head on that, but unfortunately, Shuenza is there to make the save, and he's having a pretty good game for someone who's given up 4 goals. Jonovic now back to Goi, and that ends up going back to Yejia, over to Wade, and over to Ravaglia. He's got to be offside, and yeah, he's offside. Ravaglia has that problem with being offside. I mean, all of our young strikers have it, but Ravaglia, for all of his potential, I think really has a lot of work to do if he's going to stay on this side. And it is very much possible that he will end up being sort of dropped out of the side before long. I've not been very happy with him. He hasn't been scoring many goals. He's not quite like Luciano Para, who's kind of our star player, or Huang Bowen. Those are the two who actually get it done. Of course, it doesn't really matter since we've been winning every match, and we keep throwing these shutouts, and we're on the way to have another one here. Here's Goi now. Kicks it forward. No, he doesn't. Goes back to Breno, and we're happy, I guess, with the 4-0 win. Kind of a letdown, I would say. We should have scored more than 4 goals against this Yantai team that's just bad. I'm not sure why we're still playing here. There's got to be the final whistle here eventually. I mean, we can take a look at this and sort of see what is going on and what went wrong here. But, I mean, it's a good movement. It's just Tang Xingcheng is kind of out of position. And we'll get the corner. I guess this should be the last kick of the game. And ends up going out for a throw, and that's got to be it. That's got to be it. Our fans are delighted. There are Yantai fans here, which is surprising to me for a team that never stood a chance of winning. And there you have it. There's your final score. Yanbian FC 4 and, of course, Yantai nothing. Yantai had 0 shots on target, 0 shots, period, an XG of 0. And this wasn't exactly a fair fight. But so you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you again tomorrow with some more action. Bye-bye.